These axes are traditionally made with long handles with a steel spike at the end. Shepherds used them as walking canes while herding sheep in harsh, mountainous terrain. I had to at least double the thickness and then squish down the height to about 50%. And this is the tool that helped me to achieve that. A young fella sold it to me as an unused inheritance after his father-in-law passed away.
Rest in peace, Dan.
It was dirt cheap, so it came with a bunch of issues. The die changing is complicated and slow. The tool is supposed to be attached to this round base, and this all is to be attached directly to the cylinder rod. The tool is prevented from rotating by a guide bar that slides along this track. Another issue is the bottom die mounting. It has a different width of the mounting slot, so I can't swap the bottom and top die. Also, when the bottom die is attached, the maximum opening between the dies is reduced to less than 4 centimeters, which is far from ideal. It might not have the best look or the versatility, but I bought it already knowing that I will rebuild it eventually and make a video about it. So if you are a fan of restoration videos too, stay tuned for more by subscribing to the channel. It is free and helps me stay motivated to push out the videos. Now let's get back to forging. To be able to forge the axe, I had to remove the bottom die and improvise with this heavy rectangular piece of square steel. If I had chosen the short end of the leaf spring, I could have upset the material using a press, but I decided to try upsetting it by hand instead. Now that I have the eye of the axe punched through, the next step was forging the axe I drift. Now that the drift is forged, let's grind it. For this axe, the eye should be a bit more round, more like a hammer eye as opposed to the usual axe eye profile, which tends to be long and narrow. Here you can see me slowly grinding off little by little and trying my best to make it as symmetrical and straight as possible. Now that's polished enough. So let's move on to drifting the eye, shall we? First, I needed to cut off the axe from the rest of the leaf spring. Then I cleaned the burr inside using a die grinder.
pathetic.
Is it?
Out of despair, I tried to weld the cracks, but in the end, it is not sellable to a customer in this state. So here I have a piece of O2 tool steel that will do for the second attempt. While the axe was slowly cooling in ash, I started working on the handle. As I showed you before, the cross-section of the handle is supposed to be elliptical and tapered all the way down to the spike. So here is my method how to achieve that. Before I show you the final fit up, let me quickly go through the grinding of the axe head. Before I started finishing the shape, I laid out a center line. Here I am cleaning the inside of the eye for the last time. And let's cut it to length. rough grind is finished. Before quenching, I annealed the axe once more, and while it was sitting comfortably in the bucket of ash, I moved to another part of the build, which was the steel spike for the heel. The spring steel spike needs a mild steel socket, so I picked this piece of tube. The spike and the socket will be forge welded together, so I cleaned the inside of the hole with a drill. And the spike was forged, so I came up with a silly idea to quench it in water instead of slow cooling. Now watch a complete idiot in action. After quenching in water, spring steel gets brittle, even when you are well below the critical temperature. So, second attempt it is. Before final polishing of the axe head, I needed to harden and temper it. The steel is O2, which means that it is oil hardening. To add another visual effect, I only hardened the edge. The handle is traditionally pressed into the axe head from above and held in only by friction. At this point, I felt pretty confident that I left the end of the handle thick enough to hold tight. Good. Let's get to cleaning of the scale of the steel spike and its socket. After wire brushing, I wanted to match the etched color of the head, so I etched it in ferric chloride. Before final sharpening, the handle needed to go through one last operation. To achieve the intended look, it had to be burned. This way it not only looks great, but the wood gets extra protection. And when the surface was burned, I applied boiled linseed oil. Now let's make it sharp. At this point, the axe was done. The customer happens to be a friend of mine, so he came to pick it up personally and was really satisfied with the way it turned out. But a week later, the wood dried some more and shrank, so the handle loosened. I told him to send it back for a repair. The only way to repair it was to insert a wedge. And now you can finally enjoy the finished piece.